Welcome back to my series where I'm reading the acomaf series for the first time. Oh, this love story is way more heart-wrenching. I just, can we fast forward to when they're, happy? Oh my god. The entirety of this book within the span of a week. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to my series where I'm reading the acomaf series for the first time. It's my first time reading any Sarah J. Maas books, and for this video I'm going to be reading A Court of Mist and Fury. I just finished A Court of Thorns and Roses last night, and I'm gonna be starting this today. I actually just picked it up today. I also did not realize how thick this one is. It's over 200 pages longer than the first one. There are 624 pages in this book, so this will be the biggest book that I have read outside of the Harry Potter series. When I was in middle school, I think those were the longest books I had read. So this is definitely probably gonna take me a little bit. In my last video, I had mentioned that I was flying through the first one so fast that I'd probably finish the second one by the end of April, and there are 6 days left of April. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be reading 626, 624 pages, or however many I said in 6 days. We'll see how much I can read though. I only have about 20 minutes until I have to leave, so I'm gonna just get started on this. And yeah, I'm gonna take you along. This video will contain spoilers in it. It's also gonna contain my raw, realistic, honest reactions, and it'll kind of be a mix of chatting as well as complete vlogging content. So if this is your style and you just want to see what I think about this book, then stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this series. So I just wanted to provide a quick update on where I am at in A Court of Mist and Fury. I am only about 10% of the way through, but we are officially in the night court. Rysand has just saved Feyre from her wedding day. Saved, kidnapped, I mean, tomato tomato, really up to the reader. He really kidnapped her, but also she was kind of asking to be saved, even though they're arguing that she didn't want that. I've just finished the first chapter where she's officially there for the first time, and I wanted to provide an update because I think I have a theory on this whole Rysand-Feyre relationship, and I feel like I'm not wrong. Yeah, I feel like my gut instinct is kind of right on this. So obviously, Feyre and Tamlin love each other. However, I think that Feyre and Rysand are mates. That's my theory right now. And I feel like I'm not that far off from it. I feel like I've done pretty good about not seeing spoilers for the book, but all I know is that Rysand and Feyre definitely have some type of more of a relationship, and I'm thinking that more is that they're mates and that they're actually meant to be together. So that's kind of my theory right now. I don't think I'm too far off track, but I just wanted to make an update about that because I'm really curious to see kind of where we go with the story now. I'm literally only 10% of the way through A Court of Mist and Fury, and this is already where I'm thinking, and knowing that there's so many books out, I have so many thoughts on what's gonna happen, and when are they gonna go to Hybern, and I have a feeling that that's gonna be one of the books. And the last sentence I just read was war is coming, Feyre, basically, Rysand's telling her that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna do some reading this morning. I'm probably gonna try to get a decent of the way through, probably try to get to the 20% mark at least. The book is really big, okay? No shot I was gonna finish that in April. I was so bold to assume maybe if it was a 300-page book, but it's 600 pages. And tomorrow's the last day of April. I'm not reading 600 pages in a day and a half. Like, that's just not happening. So, yeah, just wanted to provide a quick update on my theories because I feel like they're not really just like my theories. I feel like it's the truth, but we'll see. We'll see. I just have to keep reading. I figured I'd provide another update because I didn't take any clips of me reading yesterday, and I read quite a bit. I read 181 pages yesterday. I'm on page 250 now. My next chapter that I have to read is chapter 24. So at this point in the book, we are back in Feyre's human home, I guess you could say. I don't really, she says like, oh, I'm home, but like, I feel like Feyre's sense of home is many different places, which I'm actually kind of enjoying that, like, this book is really focusing on that, like Feyre not really knowing like where is her home. Is it the spring court? Is it the night court? It has to be in the fairy realm now because the human world just isn't really for her anymore, because she's not a human. And this book, I would say, is way more focused on Feyre's internal conflicts, because it's not like it's not in the first book, but this one, I really am enjoying that we didn't just brush past everything that happened in the first book, Under the Mountain, because that would be an extremely traumatic experience. I mean, just trauma on trauma on trauma for Feyre, Tamlin, everybody under the mountain. So even though it's really depressing to read about, I really like that Feyre is waking up from these nightmares and that she's getting sick, because I feel like that's more realistic and that really adds to her character development, because how could you go through that and not experience those things? So I kind of appreciate Sarah J. Maas highlighting like this post-traumatic experience for many of these characters, because this is something that was very serious for a lot of them. Obviously, Feyre and Tamlin are not married, and I think that was the last update that I had mentioned, was Rhysand coming and like saving Feyre from her wedding day, and they're obviously not married, and the last time that Feyre was in the spring court, it ended up in an argument. Tamlin put up this like invisible barrier, and it obviously freaked Feyre out. She just felt really disrespected, and like she was trapped and she was back under the mountain, and she has this visceral reaction, and all of these powers from all of these 7 High Lords are running through her, and it's just darkness and blackness, and she basically gets pulled from Rhysand's cousin, and brought to Rhysand. And so she's been in the night court kind of ever since. We've already gone to the bone carver. That happened a few chapters ago. The weaver was just a few chapters ago, where Feyre got Rhysand's ring. I don't even want to get into it. I have a feeling that ring is going to end up being Feyre's. I've already mentioned my theory that like Rhysand and Feyre are probably mates, and it sucks because I really do like Tamlin as a character, and I feel like he's extremely like misunderstood at this point in the story, like of what we know about him. And I feel like what he and Feyre went through under the mountain, they're both just processing it much differently, and they don't know how to talk to each other, and they don't know how to communicate that. Whereas with Rhysand, Feyre just feels like her guards are usually already down if she's not like shielding up. So it's like, what's the point in pretending like these things are happening when he knows that they're happening? So I feel like it's really interesting, because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, well, if this is Tamlin, like, would it be different? And I'm sure like a lot of people have the same thought process as I do, but I'm really enjoying this book. I will say I totally understand what some people mean when there's just a lot of like some dry spells. When we were meeting Rhysand's friends and they were all like at that dinner, I know it's important to like figure out their backstory, but I was just kind of getting like, this is just too many characters at once, like trying to keep track of like Cassian, Azriel, Amren, like Morgan, like that's just a lot. Like there's just so many characters that I was like, okay, it's just hard to keep track, but I really am enjoying this part of the story. So yeah, currently we are in Feyre's human home, and I'm really excited to keep reading. I just like genuinely couldn't put it down yesterday, even with the more like dense just info dumping parts of this book. I am really enjoying, because you can tell that Sarah J. Maas put so much thought and effort into creating these friendships, into creating this world, into creating these possibilities for certain things to be seen, to not to be seen, these random villains, and like, yeah, you can just tell that there was a lot of thought put into this. So, okay, lengthy update over. I'm excited to keep reading, but I just wanted to preface that yes, I did read 181 pages yesterday. I didn't update it all, but I'm about 39% of the way through right now, and I'm excited to keep going. Okay, I figured I'd provide another quick update before I have to get ready for work, but I just got to chapter 30. Ooh, I just saw a post on Fable earlier that someone said that they cried after reading chapter 30, so I'm scared because I won't be reading that until maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. So I'm nervous. Chapter 29 ended in like a lot of flirtation between Feyre and Rysand. But I like that Feyre is standing her ground. As crazy as that sounds, like obviously she's giving in to some of the flirtation, but like they haven't kissed or anything yet. But I really appreciate that, because obviously like her and Tamlin's love story, there's just a lot of hurt and emotion, and just like it was very like fast paced, and yeah, I just feel like it went by really fast. It was like super intense, really fast, and this is being drawn out, and I still don't know like how to fully feel about it. All I know is that Feyre is healing, and she also just sent a note to Tamlin saying like she's not coming back, and that like that's not her home. So yeah, that's quite the development. And yeah, that last page was basically just like Feyre's reading a letter falls out. Rysand is like trying to tempt her into coming into his room, basically. I don't know, whatever, you know. But she's developing feelings for him. It's like every page I turn, I'm like, are they gonna kiss? Like, there's no way they're not mates. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if they weren't. Like, that'd be crazy if my theory wasn't right, actually. But yeah, I'm really enjoying my time. I think I'm probably like I'm probably close to 50% of the way through. I'm almost to page 300, and there's 624 pages, so I'm probably around like 48% of the way through. Just wanted to provide an update on kind of where I'm at in the book, and I'm enjoying it. I just like don't really know. There's so much that could happen. There's so much that is happening. I just have to keep reading. There's only 8 pages in chapter 30, and I have 15 minutes, so I can read it. Am I gonna regret reading this before work? I don't know. I'm literally basing this off of one review that I saw on Fable. I'm scared. I didn't cry reading chapter 30, but I totally understand why someone on Fable said that they did. That was really rough, but also really important for the storyline, for Feyre's character development. The sparring, I think, the training, while she said all of those things, was also really important in this because it's a lot of release of that physicality of the emotion as well as the mental part of this. And I think her saying these things out loud and feeling them was so important to help move the story along, but also like just as a part of her development as someone who's high fae and trying to figure out her place in this new world. So really important chapter of this book. I'm astonished by Sarah J. Maas's ability to flesh out a character. It's a really like just tender place to stop before going forward. You may hear the birds as I'm doing this update, so just pretend it's adding like ambiance and hopefully it's not too distracting. But I just wanted to give an update because you will have seen that last night I read quite a few pages. I read 72 pages when I got off of work last night, so I'm on page 372 now. The last page / chapter I just read was Rysand was just having a nightmare and Feyre went into his room and was like trying to calm him down and stuff. So yeah, it was just like a really like tender, pretty, like a more powerful scene between the two of them because we've been getting a lot more flirtation, as I think I mentioned earlier with them, where it's just like there's so much like flirtation going on, but like nothing is like happening. But the past chapter, I think it was like way more than usual, and then he had this nightmare, and then they're like bonded, so like Feyre is like feeling it, like the darkness, and like she's putting like her darkness through to him to like try to calm him down. And yeah, so yeah, just a really sweet part was the last page I read. But before that, we just followed Amren, Feyre, and Rysand into the Summer Court. So we met the High Lord of the Summer Court, Tarquin, I think is how you say his name. And there's a little bit of flirtation between him and Feyre there as well, which I just thought was like kind of funny because they were both like, you'd be really easy to fall in love with, but like you'd be an even better friend or something like that. So I just thought that was like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny and like kind of, I don't know, just like makes you giggle a little bit, like adding to the story, because like obviously we know that like Feyre and Rysand are gonna end up together, so it's just like, I don't know. And like then the jealousy that Feyre was feeling with Rysand and Cressida, I think is how you say her name, and then with Feyre and Tarquin from Rysand. That whole chapter, I think it was the last chapter I read, where they were just like, are you jealous? It's like, okay, yeah, obviously. Anyway, I started doing an update earlier too, but what I was basically saying in that one was, as much as I'm like loving following Feyre and Rysand in this book, I can't help but wonder the whole time as I'm reading this is what's happening in the summer court. I miss Lucian, what's going on with Tamlin, like Alice, like I just want to like know what their points of view are. And I am glad that this is like first person from Feyre's point of view, like I really am. But I'm so curious what everybody else's emotions are in this whole portion of the book. I mean, it's been like genuinely probably 300 pages now since Feyre has been in the summer court. So it's been a while, and it's definitely been a few weeks, a few months, and they're coming up on a few holidays. And it's kind of funny, I was just watching a YouTube video right before I made this video on Beltane, and the first comment on that YouTube video was, if you like ACOTAR, this is very similar to Calanmai. And I've been thinking about Calanmai, obviously, with this book, because we know it's approaching and we know what happens but we don't know like what's gonna happen this Calanmai. Yeah, so much has changed in the year that Feyre has been in the Fae world. If it's even been a full year, I don't even think it's been a full year yet, which is so crazy to think about. But anyway, I'm really enjoying this book. This is such a long-winded update, but I'm about 58% of the way through. I'm a little over halfway, and I'm going to be doing a lot of reading this morning because I'm so obsessed with this, and I just don't want this series to end. It's so funny that I'm saying that. They're still talking about books to be done, but Another quick cut in. I told y'all that I thought that Rysand and Feyre were mates, and it was just confirmed on page 492. Oh my gosh, that took so long, but yeah. Like, everything was adding up that they were mates. But now Feyre's mad. I just, like, can we fast forward to when they're, like, happy that they're mates, but, like, I get it. Like, it's so, there's so many feelings around this, and it obviously scares Feyre. It obviously scared Rysand in the first book when he stumbled back. It makes so much sense. But at what cost? Guys, these books are destroying me. Like, they're possessing my emotions so heavily. Y'all remember when I was in this exact same position of the last book and Tamlin said, "I love you, like thorns and all"? Oh, this love story is way more heart-wrenching. Ooh, I'm just fighting back tears for all of chapter 54. I'm kind of scared to keep reading on. I have like 94 pages left of the book. Chapter 54 just like took my heart and squeezed it. Oh my god, that was a lot, guys. Okay, I figured I'd give maybe one last update before I finish the book. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today because I've been sat here reading for hours and my eyes are hurting. Like, I want to keep reading, but I think I've probably read like 150 or so pages, probably more than that at this point. I'm not really sure what page I was on when I started. 372. So I was on page 372 when I started today, and I'm on page 572 now. So I just read 200 pages. Wait, okay, that took me a little while to comprehend that. Wait, I just read 200 pages? Oh my god. Okay, anyway, a lot has picked up. Obviously, since I was a little over halfway, I was 58% of the way when I started the book this morning. I'm now 91% of the way through, and I think I have like 60 pages left, maybe 50 to 60 pages left of the book, and a lot is gonna happen, I know, in these next 50 to 60 pages because still have not run into Tamlin. Still have not. Guys, it's been almost the whole book. So that's gonna happen. And Keen of Highburn, are we gonna see him in this book? I don't know. But where I just ended, Feyre was just murdering an adder? A-T-T-O-R? Adder? I think is how you say it. I don't know. And Valeris was being like attacked by all of these adders or scary looking fairies or whatever. So yeah, it was quite intense, and I don't know if I've spoken since I just said like, oh, they're mates, whatever, like, yeah, so they're mates, they know, well, Feyre knows now. Rhys had been knowing. I literally had like tears pooling in my eyes reading about all of that, by the way. Like, even thinking about it, this book, like when I go about my day, I'm just like constantly thinking about these characters. And like when I like went to bed last night, even I was like, I feel like I can't think of anything but this book and like this series. And the world that Sarah J. Maas has created is just, it's so intricate and it feels so real, like as if this is just happening like on the other side of the world or like in another universe. Like it just feels like this is like real, which makes me sound a little bit delusional. I swear I'm not, but this book is really good. I just like have not felt this way about a series in so long. It's kind of funny, when I was thinking about this book this morning, I was like, I don't know if this one's gonna be a 5 stars. Like there's been like a lot of like slow bits to it and just a lot of like building up and stuff, but it's so good. I don't know if it's 5 star yet. I feel like I need to like fully finish it for me to like know and like sit with it, but this book is so good. I need to eat something. I've literally been sat here for hours. Horrible for my back, horrible for my mental health. I'm really hungry. I need to eat. And I have to go to work in like an hour. I need to get ready. So yeah, maybe I'll finish it before then. Probably cry my eyes out. Okay, I don't know how I did it, but I managed to read the entirety of this book within the span of a week, and I absolutely loved it. I absolutely loved it. I can't even believe that it's now time for the debrief that I finished the book this fast. I seriously just devoured probably 260 pages of it just today. Was not expecting that at all. Thought I was maybe gonna spend a couple days reading this book, but wow. The ending, those last 60 pages that I had left when I last updated, went by so fast. There were some things that I predicted. Honestly, Elaine and Lucien being mates, that's so funny to me, but also didn't really surprise me. And I'm kind of happy that means that hopefully we get to see Lucien a little bit more. But also what is that gonna mean of Nesta and Elaine in the Fae world? I don't know. I had a feeling they'd end up in the Fae world at one point. I just didn't know how that was gonna happen, or if the wall was gonna break down. But yeah, those last couple of pages were a lot. I literally gasped. Y'all see the close for this. I literally gasped at there's a chapter where it's Rysand first and then Feyre, and I'll include the quote in here, but the fact that they crept out, found a priestess, and swore Feyre in as High Lady of the Night Court. Yeah, I literally I gasped because yeah, just wasn't expecting that. I'm so happy though. I'm so curious though how the third book is gonna go now, because now there are so many plot points that we've delved into this duology that I've read so far, that now the most pressing one is obviously that Feyre is looking to bring Tamlin and Ianthe down. Potentially Lucien, I don't know. I think Lucien's maybe gonna be on Feyre's side, and Rysand is going to trust Feyre's instincts on this, and I think that's gonna be really interesting. I feel yeah, book 3 is already gonna start out really crazy now. And I don't own it, I need to go get it, but I'm so excited. And yeah, there's just so much I could say about this book. I also had mentioned kind of at the beginning of this video that I had predicted that Rysand and Feyre were mates, but I think I kind of felt that in the last book, obviously with the painting the night sky and stuff. I was huh, that's weird, the night court, interesting, okay. Knew that there was going to be some sort of connection there, but it didn't start to feel more solidified until we got into this book. And those first couple pages I was just okay, there's no way they're not. But just the depth of that and the importance of that and how many emotions come out of being mates, that's so wholly new for me to read, and was just extremely interesting to read about and to delve into, honestly. So highly recommend this one. There are so many things that I underlined in this that if I go back to read these books in the future, I know that they're gonna make me smile or giggle or whatever, because yeah, this is crazy. This is the start of Feyre and Rysand's relationship, and here I was last book being oh my god, this Beauty and the Beast inspired love story, it's so perfect.